Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna and Pranam dear devotees. So welcome to our Sunday evening Bhagavad Gita sessions. So I heartily welcome everyone. And so we are currently reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is introduction. And so let's get started. So before we start, we will do prayers to the Acharyas and we will read Mangala Charan. Share the screen. Hare Krishna, Atul Prabhu. Can you read the English translation along with me?
Yes, just give me. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So I will read Sanskrit and you can follow up with me in English.
Yes, a second. Okay, Ronnie Prabhu.
Yes. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah.
I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam.
When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet?
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutupada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansucha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitansucha.
I offer my respectful obeisances onto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and onto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances onto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatana Goswami, as well as Raghunatha Dasa and Raghunatha Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita Acharya, Gadadhara, Srivasa, and other associates.
The last line also.
I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates, Sri Lalita and Vishakha.
He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute.
Oh, my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye.
I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavana. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto all Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
I offer my obeisances to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhara, Srivasa, and others in the line of devotion.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So Once again, I welcome everyone to this Sunday evening Bhagavad Gita session. And we have a new member in our group today. Shweta ji is joining from South India. And so we heartily welcome Shweta Mataji. It's her first session today. So we chant one time Hari Bol for Mataji. Hari Bol. So, in our last few sessions, we are reading from Bhagavad Gita introduction, and abhi tak humne, like we have covered preface and setting the scene. We read about the history of Bhagavad Gita, the history of Mahabharata, कि ऐसे क्या events हुए that led to Lord Krishna speaking to Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And in our last session, थोड़ा सा हम revise कर लेते हैं. In our last session, we read how Bhagavad Gita is best understood, like in the spirit of devotion, in a same manner that Arjun understood Bhagavad Gita from Lord Krishna. And we also read that Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and the Bhagavad Gita is understood when we understand this fact that it is being spoken by Lord Krishna, who is none other than the supreme personality of Godhead, and in the spirit of devotion. And we also understood what is the importance of Guru Parampara system, and हमने ज़्यादा विस्तार में डिस्कस नहीं किया. We did not discuss that much in detail, but we discussed in very much in brief that what is the importance of getting this knowledge in a bona fide disciplic succession or sampradaya. And we also understood that that Lord Krishna, he spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjun because Arjun is a friend and he's a devotee of the Lord. And Bhagavad Gita is especially meant for those who are the devotees and who are trying to become favorable to devotional service and favorable to Krishna consciousness. And we also read about that there are 5 types of relationships with the Lord: Shantiras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, and Vatsalyaras, and उसके बाद Madhuryaras. तो इसके बारे में हमने बहुत संक्षेप में जाना, because अभी we are right now reading from introduction. So introduction में हमको वो सब कुछ मिलेगा जो हम पूरी भगवत गीता में पढ़ सकते हैं, but अभी बहुत संक्षेप में मिल रहा है. We are understanding we are touching the very basic topics of Bhagavad Gita. And और उसके बाद भगवान अभी भगवद गीता तुमने शुरू ही नहीं किया, अभी तुम सिर्फ हम इंट्रोडक्शन पढ़ रहे हैं. भगवद गीता तो अभी फर्स्ट चैप्टर से शुरू होगी, एंड इट विल टेक सम टाइम फॉर अस टू रीच देयर. एंड उसमें फिर हम वी विल अंडरस्टैंड दैट व्हाट वी हैव रेड इन इंट्रोडक्शन, दैट वो फिर विस्तार में हम उसे पढ़ेंगे. और उसके बाद हमने भगवद गीता में पढ़ा कि जैसे like we are living entities and we are related to the supreme personality, to supreme Lord, and we are part and parcel of the supreme personality of Godhead. And but we have forgotten that relationship, and that relationship is awoken when we start doing devotional service. And the first step of devotional service is Shravanam, and हमने उसमें discuss किया था that when we chant this Mahamantra, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, और आप भी मेरे पीछे पीछे दोहरा सकते हैं, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. So what happens is that this is the first step which we take in re-establishing our relationship with the Supreme Personality, with the Supreme Lord again. We have forgotten. There are various reasons that what leads to us forgetting the relationship, and which we will eventually be covering in Bhagavad Gita only. And तो जब हम ये हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र का when we start chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so there is Chetodarpan Marjanam, there is cleansing of the heart which has been contaminated for so long because we have been conditioned in this material nature. And when we start taking shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Lord Krishna, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives us the mercy, and then we get because we are unqualified, we get that qualification of start chanting the holy name of the Lord. And that is the first step in Krishna consciousness. And also the most important step, because as we keep on chanting, we will understand that all the things that we are reading, like even these classes also, we will be able to understand, because this is not something of mundane knowledge or only for knowledge or gyan. And because these scriptures or these knowledge is called revealed scriptures, it has to be realized. And Bhagwan bolte hain Bhagavad Gita mein, pratyakshavgamam dharmam. And so it is self-realized knowledge. And so like that. And also we also read that yes, कि in the end we हमने पढ़ा था कि कैसे भगवान को समझना, जो देवी देवता होते हैं, the demigods also, उनके लिए भी मुश्किल होता है. And बट जो जो भक्त होता है, भक्तमम भी जानाति, जो भक्त होते हैं वो भगवान को अच्छे से समझ सकते हैं. वो उनकी जो जो लीलाएं हैं और जो उनके जो कार्य हैं वो समझ लेते हैं. बट वो चीज किसी देवी देवता के लिए समझना भी बहुत मुश्किल है. उसके लिए हमने 2-3 उदाहरण प्रस्तुत किए थे. तो किसी को याद है हमने क्या डिस्कस किया था लास्ट सेशन में? लाइक what were the examples which we discussed, that it is very difficult for even those who are demigods? Can anybody give one or two example last class से, अगर किसी को याद है तो? Hare Krishna. Nobody remembers? Okay, so no problem. We आपको याद आएगा जब मैं बताऊंगा. So we discussed the example of Lord Brahma. हमने ब्रह्म विमोहन लीला डिस्कस करी थी, जिसमें ब्रह्मा जी धरती पे आते हैं और वो भगवान की जो बाल लीला है उसमें उनके जो मित्र हैं उनको वो चुरा लेते हैं. तो एक हमने वो डिस्कस किया था. और दूसरा हमने इंद्र देवता के बारे में भी डिस्कस किया था कि कैसे गोवर्धन लीला में he is bewildered and he is not able to understand that who is this personality who has appeared, and who is none other than the supreme personality of Godhead. तो हमने ये 2 examples डिस्कस किए थे. So now we will proceed further, and let me share the screen. So I will read. तो हमने यहाँ पे छोड़ा था लास्ट टाइम, that neither the demigods nor the demons can understand your personality. तो हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. After hearing Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjun accepted Krishna as Param Brahma, the Supreme Brahman. Every living entity is Brahman, but the Supreme Living Being or the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Supreme Brahman. Param Dham means that he is the supreme rest or the abode of everything. Pavitram means that he is pure, untainted by material contamination. Purusham means that he is the supreme enjoyer. Shashvatam, eternal. Divyam, transcendental. Adi Devam, the original supreme personality of Godhead. Ajam, the unborn, and Vibhum, the greatest. तो यहाँ पे अभी हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं कि अभी जैसे हमने आपको बताया कि we should accept भगवद गीता the way अर्जुन accepted. तो अभी यहाँ पे वो प्रभुपाद यहाँ पे कोट कर रहे हैं कि 10th चैप्टर में एक्चुअली जब भगवान सारा अपना बारे में बता रहे होते हैं, तो अर्जुन 10.11 और 10.12 में भगवान को ये जो श्लोक हैं ये बोलते हैं कि चैप्टर 10 to 12 में कि अर्जुन उवाच परम ब्रह्म परम धाम पवित्रम परमम भवान पुरुषम शाश्वतम दिव्यम आदि देवम अजम विभुम. तो ये this is the way that Arjun accepted, that who are you, that you are Param Brahma, Param Dhama. Arjun is accepting Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Param Brahma, Param Dham. There is Brahma, like we say, Aham Brahmasmi, everybody of us is Brahman. But there is Supreme Brahman, who is Lord Krishna. Param Dham, that everything is resting upon him. Purusham Shashvatam Divyam. Shashvatam, eternal. Divyam means transcendental. And Adi Purush, that he is the only enjoyer, and Purusham means that he is the supreme enjoyer. तो यहाँ पे Prabhupada is explaining little bit in detail, little bit in संक्षेप में कि that what Arjun is saying. तो ये वो इसका background है. And and Adi Deva means original personality of Godhead, Ajam the unborn, and Vibhum the greatest. So this is how Arjun um, is saying these things to Bhagwan, that this is you, aap ye hain, and this is how we should also accept it as it is. आगे बढ़ते हैं. Now one may think that because Krishna was the friend of Arjun, Arjun was telling him all this by way of flattery. But Arjun, just to drive out this kind of doubts from the minds of the reader of Bhagavad Gita, substantiates these praises in the next verse when he says that Krishna is accepted as the supreme personality of Godhead not only by himself but by authorities like Narad, Asit, Deval, and Vyasdev. These are great personalities who distribute the Vedic knowledge as it is accepted by all acharyas. Therefore, Arjun tells that he accepts whatever he says to be completely perfect. So ये थोड़ा valid भी है because one may think कि Krishna is reciting Bhagavad Gita, saying Bhagavad Gita to Arjun, and Arjun is accepting. And अभी हमने पढ़ा भी था that Arjun is very dear friend of Krishna. And जब दोस्ती होती है तो थोड़ा सा favorability भी आ सकती है. There may come some biasing also कि हे प्रभु आप जो कह रहे हैं सही ही कह रहे होंगे. So, but to drive out this thing, so Arjun is not saying that only I accept it, but he is also quoting the authorities. He is also quoting the other acharyas who are present before him. Like जैसे यहाँ पे उन्होंने क्या example दिया, नारद का, असित, देवल and व्यासदेव. So this is the way that how one accepts the shastra, because the shastra is given by the authority. And like if somebody also, like अगर आप कुछ भी सुन रहे हैं, so the one way that you can find out whether that thing is authentic or not is that the other person must quote that thing from shastra. Sorry. So जैसे कि so the one who's the speaker, that the speaker must quote that thing from shastra. If it is not from shastra, then one may think that it could be their own mental speculation na? It could be मेरी mental speculation भी हो सकती है. And what is the value of my belief? What is the value of my thoughts? But the value of Krishna's thought, the value of Bhagavad Gita is everything. I have no value, but Bhagavad Gita has all value. And in that sense, that Arjun is also quoting the other acharyas and the superiors. So this makes things even more authentic कि सिर्फ मैं ही नहीं मानता इस चीज को, बाकी भी मानते हैं. Sarvam etadritam manye. I accept everything you say to be true. So this is again very wonderful line, that Sarvam etadritam manye. It is not something that we accept one part of Bhagavad Gita to be true and other part I think oh कोई बात नहीं इसको भी मैं discuss करूंगा and इसमें थोड़ी सी मेरे को problems लगती हैं, I will not accept that thing. It is not like that. But if you accept one part, you have to accept other part also. Either leave the whole part or accept the whole part. This is the way that we approach the scripture, the way we approach this bona fide knowledge or this revealed knowledge, that we accept everything in all. Not that I accept one thing and in the other thing I don't accept, or it could be my own speculation. No, not like that. I accept everything you say to be true. Arjun also says that the personality of the Lord is very difficult to understand and that he cannot be known even by the demigods. This means that the Lord cannot even be known by personalities greater than human beings. So how can a human being understand Lord Krishna without becoming his devotee? ये भगवान भगवद गीता में भी बोलते हैं कि 7.19 में भगवान बोलते हैं कि बहुनाम जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानमान माम प्रपद्यते वासुदेव सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभ. कि बहुनाम जन्मनामन्ते, बहुत बहुत जन्म लेने के बाद ज्ञानमान माम प्रपद्यते, कोई ऐसा ज्ञानी बिरला होता है. वासुदेव सर्वमिति, that Vasudev is all in all and he is the supreme goal. स महात्मा सुदुर्लभ. ऐसे महात्मा बहुत दुर्लभ होते हैं. Such mahatmas are very rare. So this Lord also says in Bhagavad Gita. And Arjun and Prabhupada is saying that how can we even think of that we can simply understand without becoming a devotee. So that is why devotion is very important, and that is why this process devotional service is very important. And this process of devotional service, जिसको हम नवदा भक्ति भी कहते हैं, जिसे नवदा भक्ति में क्या आता है, there are 9 stages. उसमें क्या है, श्रवणम कीर्तनम, विष्णु स्मरणम, आत्मनिवे श्रवणम कीर्तनम, विष्णु स्मरणम, अर्चनम, वंदनम, दास्यम, साख्यम, आत्मनिवेदनम. So these are the steps of Navda Bhakti, जिसको हम बोलते हैं 9 stages of devotional service. And all these these stages of devotional service are important, and it starts with Shravanam. Shravanam means that we hear. That first we have some jigyasa to hear, and we hear it from the right bona fide source. So this is the way to approach this knowledge. Therefore, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita should be taken up in a spirit of devotion. One should not think that he is equal to Krishna, nor should he think that Krishna is an ordinary personality or even a very great personality. Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So, according to the statements of Bhagavad Gita or the statements of Arjun, the person who is trying to understand the Bhagavad Gita, we should at least theoretically accept Shri Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, and with that submissive spirit we can understand the Bhagavad Gita. Unless one reads the Bhagavad Gita in a submissive spirit, it is very difficult to understand because it is a great mystery. Raj Vidya, Raj Guhyam. So here also one very important point which Prabhupada is pointing out, that ये हम अभी 4th chapter में आके पढ़ेंगे, that there is a way by which we can approach this knowledge. और उसको जो पाने का जो तरीका है वो है कि तद्विधि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्षान्ति ते ज्ञानम ज्ञानिनः तत्वदर्शिना. कि क्या है, कि विधि क्या है, तद्विधि प्रणिपात परिप्रश्न सेवया. कि प्रणिपात मतलब इन अ सबमिसिव स्पिरिट, which is very important. तभी ये सबसे पहले भी आता है. It is not that okay, I am a great debater, I have some background knowledge of this thing, so let me go to this person and have some kind of an argument and prove them down कि बॉस आप गलत हो, ये आप अपने interpretations लेके चल रहे हो, ऐसे नहीं है. और we should not approach, or those who approach in this kind of spirit, it is not possible for them to understand it. We have to approach in a humble, submissive manner. That then only, because then only this gyan will flow, or this knowledge will flow from like higher to lower. We have to be at a lower position to accept it. Otherwise, it will not be possible. For example, let's suppose, even if we take an example of a mundane study, suppose we are trying to study engineering, and we take admission in an engineering college, and there is a professor, and this is my first day at engineering college. I know nothing ABC of engineering, but I might be very good with technology, I might be very good with computers, I might be very good with various other things. I can write programs and many other things I could do. But still, it is, if I go on the first day of my class to of the college and say to professor, oh professor, you don't know, and let us have a debate, what exactly do you know? And even if I am at a position of student, that is not the way that I should approach that knowledge, right? Because even if I may be knowing things, but I should still approach in a humble manner and understand this thing, because the person who is teaching there, he has realized this thing, and he has reached to that some kind of position. That is why he is there now. And how can we expect the same thing to be true in this knowledge, which is even more difficult to understand, and it is transcendental and Raj Goyam. It is a great mystery to understand. And भगवान स्वयं बता रहे हैं भगवत गीता में कि इतना मुश्किल है इसको जानना, and that बहुनाम जन्म नाम मनते हैं. But what happens is that when we take the shelter of a pure devotee of the Lord, and we take the shelter of a bona fide disciplic succession, then things become very simple. Things don't remain difficult. It is in our hands that how we want to make things difficult or simpler. That basically, like if I have a very complex mind and I may be doubting on every single statement of this book, right? But if I'm a very simple hearted person, and then if I simply go on understanding, not in a blind faith manner, but having an open mind, and have some understanding to hear the other person out, then I will understand this fact. So this is the way that we approach. So now we read further. Just what is the Bhagavad Gita? The purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to deliver mankind from the nascence of material existence. देखिए. So this is the importance of Bhagavad Gita. It is to deliver mankind from the nascence of material existence. Every man is in difficulty in so many ways, as Arjun also was in difficulty in having to fight the battle of Kurukshetra. Arjun surrendered unto Sri Krishna, and consequently, this Bhagavad Gita was spoken. Not only Arjun, but every one of us is full of anxieties because of this material existence. Our very existence is in the atmosphere of non-existence. Actually, we are not meant to be threatened by non-existence. Our existence is eternal, but somehow or other we are put into asat. Asat refers to that which does not exist. So this is a little tricky statement which Prabhupada is writing, and so एक तो हमने पढ़ा कि what is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita, that purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to enlighten us, to get us out of this nuisance of material existence. So यहाँ पे there are so many question marks if somebody is reading this for the first time, that what exactly is material existence, what are we talking of, and what do we mean by that every one of us is full of anxieties in this material existence. Our very existence is in the atmosphere of non-existence. What is the meaning of this line? Actually, we are not meant to be threatened by non-existence. What exactly this means? Our existence is eternal. What do you mean by this eternal? Like eternal means, you may also say immortal. So, but what exactly are we talking of? So uh, the first thing that we should understand, which जो भगवान भी भगवद गीता में जो सबसे पहला टीचिंग है अर्जुन को, वो ये देते हैं कि हे अर्जुन, you are not this body, your spirit soul, and spirit soul is eternal. Like this itself in itself is a big topic, and we will discuss that thing at a later stage also, but just for the food for thought. And so we are not this body actually, and we are we living entities, like we are Sat Chit Anand, like in the same manner that Lord is also Sat Chit Anand. He is eternal, completely knowledgeable and blissful. And we are not this body. I'm not this body which is made of this, like I could be say fingers, and I have a face, and like that I have this body made of chemicals, like there is blood, there is stool, and there is flesh. Not like that. I'm spirit soul. Because like when this when somebody dies, we say that, oh, he has passed away, right? So but the thing is that the body is still there, right? And but then the question is, then who has passed away? It in a common sense, if we understand that if somebody passes, if somebody has died, then we say that he has passed away, कि वो चले गए. But then who has gone? Because for the whole life you have been making relationships and thinking that other person is this body only, but the body is now lying there only. Every single element is still there, but what exactly is not present, which was making that body move. And so then we understand that we are something higher than what this body is, and we are not exactly this body. We are spirit soul, and our existence is eternal. But due to some reasons we are put into this body, yantrurani mayaya, and dehi nosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehantar praptir dhiras tatra namuyati. That as the um, we continue to pass from this boyhood to young age to old age, and then we die. Similarly, the soul at the time of death passes from one body to another, just as somebody changes the clothes. So this is what Bhagavad Gita is saying in chapter 2. And this existence and this eternal existence comes from that only, that natve vaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadipa nachaiva na bhavishyama Sarve vayam ataha param. Ki I was ever existing in the past, I will continue to exist in the present, and I am existing in the present, and I will continue to exist in the future also. So this is what Bhagwan is saying in chapter 2, verse 12 and 13. And and so this is our nature, that we are eternal. So this line means like this. And but what is happening right now with us, that due to some reasons, we will discuss that thing, due to some reasons we are put into this material world, and we are put into this body which is temporary. Because if somebody who has taken birth, death is sure. And this material world is a cycle of birth and death only. That means it is asat. Asat means something which is temporary, not false. So in that sense, so we are put into this temporariness, which is a kind of threatening for us. Like for example, because we are not meant to die, and we are getting this experience of birth and death, that is why we are always threatened to be living in this material world. Our very, देखिए क्या लिख रहा है प्रभुपाद, our very existence is in the atmosphere of non-existence. Non-existence as in, not that it is false, this material world is not false, like some say that brahma mithya, and brahma satya jagat mithya, not like that, which is a false notion. Our very existence in the atmosphere of non-existence का मतलब है, because this whole world is temporary and we are not of that particular nature, we are threatened by that. So this is the, like, in a philosophical way, this is the meaning of it. And of course, like, we will ये हम सब agree करते होंगे that there are so many anxieties in our life. Like, एक खत्म होती है दूसरी आ जाती है. There is one illness, एक खत्म होती है तो दूसरी बस, it is just knocking on the door. So like that, there is continuous struggle for existence. There is continuous struggle for um, maintaining our body, maintaining our life, maintaining relationships, like that. So there is continuous anxiety. And actually is जो material world है उसका नाम ही कुंठ है. Like, because the spiritual world is called Vaikunt. Vaikunt मतलब without anxiety, and kuntha means anxiety. So the material world means anxiety. So if we are looking for anxiety free life, then we are looking at the wrong place. So in a short manner, that we should look for some place else which is called Vaikunt. So we will understand that what exactly it is after, like, some time. It will come here only. And so like that. And we can understand that there are so many problems in our life. There is a continuous struggle to exist. And इसको हम कहते हैं padam padam yad vipadam, that there is danger at every step in the material world. We don't know what is going to happen at the next moment. And the biggest surprise is death only. We don't know when that question is going to be asked, because it is a kind of surprise question, and it is a surprise test. And the whole life that we should do is to prepare for that surprise test, and which is the aim of this human form of life, which we will understand now further. आगे पढ़ते हैं. Out of so many human beings who are suffering, there are a few who are actually inquiring about their position, as to what they are, why they are put into this awkward position, and so on. Unless one is awakened to this position of questioning his suffering, unless he realizes that he doesn't want suffering, but rather wants to make a solution to all suffering, then one is not to be considered a perfect human being. Humanity begins when this sort of inquiry is awakened in one's mind. In the Brahma Sutra, this inquiry is called Brahma Jigyasa, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. So देखिए, so now Prabhupada is right now defining what is the start of human life. Like, we have our all notions that what exactly life may mean to us, but according to Shastra, according to Vedanta Sutra, this is actually the first sutra of the Vedas, is that Athato Brahma Jigyasa. वो क्या कह रहे हैं कि ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा, now inquire, be, now that you have attained human form of life, now you are meant to inquire why you are here. What is your meaning to life? What is the purpose of your life? And and why are you put into these kind of awkward positions or situations, and why this kind of suffering is happening, and I really want my permanent happiness, and what is the way to do that? So this is actually the start of human life. So this is what the Shastra is saying, that humanity begins when this sort of inquiry is awakened. When one becomes jigyasu, and there is inquisitiveness in one's mind. Oh, why is this happening to me? Where am I coming from? Where am I heading to? What are all these things? What are all these people? And what is the purpose to my life? Am I only meant for like sustaining my family, sustaining my children, doing a 9 to 6 job and paying my bills, paying my EMIs, or things like that? Or is it something to be more than that? Or is it क्या मेरी life ऐसे ही बस बीत जाएगी, or is it going to be like this only? So this is called awakening of the uh, spirit soul. Like this is called the awakening stage, that now when one comes like um, by mercy and by fortunate, but if one is fortunate enough to come in contact with those who have already been initiated in this process of understanding self realization. And because अगर कोई fortunate है तो ही वो किसी के साथ contact में आएंगे. And when the other person says this thing to others, because क्योंकि अगर मुझे समझ में आ गया कि मेरे लाइफ का पर्पस ये है, और ये तो एक ऐसा सीक्रेट है, ये तो सबको बताना चाहिए, and this is what the whole life is meant for, then why will I not tell it to everybody, isn't it? और उसमें कोई मेरे पैसे नहीं लग रहे हैं, इसमें मेरे को कोई there is no cost which is incurring ना. And it is like life savior to others as well. And it is like, for example, somebody is drowning in the ocean, and like saving from that drowning in the ocean, it is like that only. And when one inquires that what exactly, who am I, who is God, what is my relationship with God, and so then this is the beginning, this is the initiation. So like that, every activity अब देखिए क्या लिख रहे हैं प्रभुपाद, every activity of the human being is to be considered a failure unless he inquires about the nature of the absolute. Therefore, those who begin to question why they are suffering, or when they came, or where they came from, and where they shall go after death, are proper students for understanding Bhagavad Gita. Thus, the sincere student should also have a firm respect for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a student was Arjuna. Lord Krishna descends specifically to re-establish the real purpose of life when man forgets that purpose. Even then, out of many human beings who awaken, there may be one who actually enters the spirit of understanding his position, and for him this Bhagavad Gita is spoken. So this actually Prabhupada is quoting Bhagavad Gita shlok only. ये आता है 7th chapter के 3rd verse में कि मनुष्यानाम सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये यतताम अपि सिद्धानाम कश्चिन् माम वेति तत्वता. कि मनुष्य लाइफ में सहस्रेषु में thousands and millions of it. मनुष्यानाम सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये, कि there is a very rare person, yatatam api siddhanam kashchin mam veti tatvata, who tries to understand this truth in tattva, and out of those millions there is hardly one who understands. कि एक तो बहुत सारे लाखों करोड़ों लोग हैं, उसमें से कोई एक होता है जो जानने की कोशिश करता है. जो लाखों करोड़ जो जानने की कोशिश करते हैं, उसमें से कोई एक होता है जो उसको जान पाता है. And for that Bhagavad Gita is spoken. So we can understand that how much this is in rarity, how much rare this is, and how much important this is for understanding this in our life. Actually, we are all, and what happens is that because, and by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, and because he gave us this Bhagavad Gita as it is in such a simple and such a simple English language, and we can read it and understand it. What is the true purpose and what is the true meaning of my life? So like that. Actually, we are swallowed by the tigress of nescience but the Lord is very merciful upon living entities, especially human beings. To this end, he spoke the Bhagavad Gita, making his friend Arjun his student. Being an associate of Lord Krishna, Arjun was above all ignorance, but Arjun was put into ignorance on the battlefield of Kurukshetra just to question Lord Krishna about the problems of life so that the Lord could explain them for the benefit of future generations of human beings and chalk out the plan of life. Then man could act accordingly and perfect the mission of human life. तो ये हमने पहले भी डिस्कस किया था that uh, we say that oh Arjun is a pure devotee and he's a friend and a devotee of the Lord. Then how could it be possible that he could forget this kind of knowledge and understanding? And he's asking, he doesn't want to fight and such kind of cowardliness, or we could say that such kind of thing has apparently being drawn over him. So this is what the answer is, that कि वो ऐसा नहीं है, but because he's being put into this kind of position by the potency of the Lord, so that this Bhagavad Gita could be spoken. क्योंकि अगर अगर भगवान के वो क्या हो रहा है कि यहाँ पे this is now लीला is happening like a drama that कि हे प्रभु, now my hands are quivering and I'm not able to understand that why I should kill this kinsmen who are my grandfather, who are my brothers, and like that, and who are my relatives. And there are many reasons which Arjun gives कि मेरे को क्यों नहीं लड़ना चाहिए. Or and this all this being is done by he's been put into ignorance on the battlefield by Lord Krishna only, so that he can take the stance of common man like us. He is taking this position for us only, because we don't know that this what is the importance of Bhagavad Gita and what exactly is there in Bhagavad Gita, what is the meaning of life, and why all these things are happening. And I am also finding such kind of similar situation that I don't know what to do in my life, and I should find a guru and surrender onto that guru and understand what is the meaning of my life, what I should do. It should give some direction to my life. So this is why Arjun is being put into this kind of situation, so that we all can understand what is the meaning of Bhagavad Gita, and we all can get this pure nectar of Bhagavad Gita. Sarvopanishado Gava Dugdha Gopala Nandana. That this is Bhagavad Gita is the nectar of all the Vedas, and Arjun is like the calf, and Lord Krishna is like milking the cow of the Vedas, and the milk which is coming is Bhagavad Gita. This is from Bhagavad Gita Mahatmya, written by Shankaracharya. आगे पढ़ते हैं. The subject of the Bhagavad Gita entails the comprehension of 5 basic truths. First of all, the science of God is explained and the constitutional position of the living entities, jivas. There is Ishwar, which means the controller. There are jivas, the living entities, which are controlled. If a living entity says that he is not controlled, but that he is free, he is insane. The living being is controlled in every respect, at least in his conditioned life. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, the subject matter deals with Ishwar, the supreme controller, and the jivas, the controlled living entities, prakriti, material nature, the time, the duration of existence of the whole universe, or the manifestation of material nature, and karma, activity, are also discussed. The cosmic manifestation is full of different activities. All living entities are engaged in different activities. From Bhagavad Gita, we must learn that what God is, what living entities are, what the cosmic manifestation is, how it is controlled by time, and what are the activities of the living entities are. तो जो भगवद गीता, एक्चुअली भगवद गीता में ये 5 टॉपिक्स दिए गए हैं जिनके बारे में वी डिस्कस. इट इज लाइक सबसे पहला है ईश्वर. सो भगवद गीता फर्स्ट टेल्स, ओके, सबसे पहले आता है जीव, कि भगवद गीता बताती है कि जीव कौन है, कि सबसे पहले मैं हूँ, एम आई एक्चुअली. एंड देन देयर इज ईश्वर, दैट हु इज गॉड. And then there is prakriti, what is material nature, what is this whole existence, and what is time, kal, that which is ever existing, and the duration of the existence of the whole material manifestation. And then there is karma, कि जीव प्रकृति के प्रभाव में और टाइम के प्रभाव में जो कार्य करता है उसको हम कर्म बोलते हैं. That the activities done by the jiva in the purview of time and under the modes of material nature are called karma. So this is what is the definition of karma is, and these are the five basic topics that Bhagavad Gita explains in various details, and Bhagavad Gita is like it is the ABC of spirituality. Like if we want to understand what is like who am I, who is God, and then Bhagavad Gita gives the answers. Then who is God, and not just who is God, and various details that what is the address of the God, and what are the activities of the God, and who am I, and what is this material nature, and why did I come from the spiritual world to material world, what is this time, and what are these activities. Like if I don't take up bhakti or Krishna consciousness, then what are the laws which are governing the material nature, what are the laws which are going to be governed, which are going to be governing me, like whether I take it or don't take it. And so these are all the questions that Bhagavad Gita answers us. And the cosmic manifestation is full of different activities, and of course there are various activities which are going on, and these activities are performed by the jivas only. That one may question that, oh, this material nature is there, so then who is controlling this material nature? It is God only who is controlling via its various agents. It is Krishna only who is controlling. ये हम अभी आगे जाके पढ़ेंगे that what is this material nature and how is this being controlled. और भगवान बताते हैं कि माया दक्षिण प्रकृति, कि this material nature is working under my direction only. And ये भी हम पढ़ेंगे आगे जाके. And so this is what is Bhagavad Gita is discussing in short in these 5 topics. तो क्या है? ईश्वर, जीव, प्रकृति, काल एंड कर्म. तो ये 5 टॉपिक्स हैं. आगे पढ़ते हैं. Out of these 5 basic subject matters in the Bhagavad Gita, it is established that the Supreme Godhead or Krishna or Brahman or the Supreme Controller or Paramatma, you may use whatever name you like, is the greatest of all. The living entity, the living beings are in quality like Supreme Controller. For instance, the Lord has control over the universal affairs for material nature, as we will be explained in the later chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Material nature is not independent; she is acting under the directions of the Supreme Lord. Okay, so now what is happening is that there is a change which is being taken, like, and there is a different topic which I would want to discuss in the next class only, because then this topic is going to be continued like for a longer period of time, and we are already in 10 minutes like to complete this our session. So we would rest here only, and then I just wanted to give some time for question and answers, because last time like it took around 10-15 minutes for the questions, and then we get late, so I don't want to do that. And so we will rest over here only, and what exactly these topics are, like these 5 topics, and what and आगे जो पढ़ेंगे वो हम अपने अगली क्लास में पढ़ेंगे. And so यहाँ पे अभी हम उसको विराम देते हैं. तो हमने लास्ट में क्या डिस्कस किया, that there are 5 topics that which are being discussed in Bhagavad Gita. सबसे पहला क्या है? ईश्वर, that who is God, and then जीव, then what exactly are the living entities, and there is prakriti, कि there is material manifestation which is around us, and then there is time or काल, that there is उसका काल का प्रभाव है, and what exactly time is, and what time actually does. एंड तो वो हम आगे जाके पढ़ेंगे. एंड देन द फिफ्थ इज दैट कर्म, कि काल के प्रभाव में और मटेरियल नेचर के प्रभाव में जो जीव जो कार्य करता है उसको हम कर्म बोलते हैं. तो ये हमने अभी तक डिस्कस करा. एंड so now I just wanted to like ask if there are any comments or any questions, and then you can ask. Otherwise we will close the session here only. So do we have any questions or any comments from today or from any previous sessions? or anything that you want to confirm or any clarity, so then you may ask. हरे कृष्णा. आई होप आप सब सुन रहे हैं कि ज्यादा बोर नहीं कर दिया मैंने आज.
Yes, Prabhu, we are here.
Okay. ठीक है. So no comments or no questions, so we take it from here only. And तो आज का जो था हमने काफी कुछ. Yes प्रभु, हरे कृष्णा.
प्रभु जी एक क्वेश्चन था प्रभु जी, सेशन से तो ऐसे प्रभु जी डायरेक्ट रिलेटेड नहीं है प्रभु जी. मैं ये पूछना चाह रहा था कि जैसे हमें बहुत बार ये बताया जाता है कि हम स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड से यहाँ पर आए हैं, तो प्रभु जी मैं ये जानना चाहता था कि अगर हम पहले स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में थे तो वहां पर तो प्रभु जी जैसे हमें तो वो वहां से हम कैसे यहाँ पर आ सकते हैं, मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा. वहां पर तो हमें बहुत ब्लिस मिल रहा होगा, तो वो आनंद छोड़ करके हम यहाँ क्यों आएंगे प्रभु जी? या फिर ऐसा था कि प्रभु जी हम वहां पर थे ही नहीं एक्चुअली प्रभु जी, हम लोग आए कैसे इस मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में?
हाँ, ये भगवद गीता इसका आंसर देती है 7th चैप्टर में. इच्छा द्वेष समुत्थेन द्वंद्व मोहेन भारत, कि मैं पढ़ के अब सुनाता हूँ आपको इसकी ट्रांसलेशन के साथ. इच्छा द्वेष समुत्थेन द्वंद्व मोहेन भारत और सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहम सर्गे यन्ति परंतप, कि इच्छा द्वेष समुत्थेन. इसमें क्या बता रहे हैं भगवान कि इच्छा और द्वेष के कारण लाइक आप यहाँ पे टपक पड़ते हो, गिर पड़ते हो. इच्छा द्वेष क्या है? इच्छा मीन्स डिजायर एंड द्वेष मीन्स envy. Like I had a desire to enjoy just like Krishna, and I was envious of that. I was envious that why could only Krishna enjoy, why I cannot enjoy. And that is why, and there is no position there that I can enjoy, because there the position only that it is the Krishna who is the only enjoyer. And Adi Purush, जिसको हम बोलते हैं ना पुरुष, that he is the supreme enjoyer and he is the only enjoyer. But due to good some reasons like which we also don't know, that ये क्वेश्चन बहुत ही फेमस है कि ऐसा क्या हुआ मेरे साथ कि मैंने ऐसा क्या सोचा होगा कि that I came from spiritual world to material world. तो इसका आंसर जो सीनियर डिवोटीज हैं और जो आचार्य हैं वो ये देते हैं कि इसका आंसर हमको वहीं मिले. इसका आंसर यहाँ पे नहीं है कि ऐसा क्या किया, बट इसका आप इस तरह से भी सोच सकते हो, बट इसका जो जेनरिक आंसर है वो ये है कि इच्छा द्वेष समुत्थेन, that because of my desire to enjoy apart from Krishna, and I also wanted to become the controller. I also wanted to enjoy the same way Krishna is enjoying. And but there the position, that kind of position is not open. इसको बोलते हैं ना कि आपकी कंपनी में ये पोजीशन ओपन नहीं है, तो वहां पे this position is not there. So then what Lord does is he creates a kind of a toy system or a material world where he could say कि ठीक है, okay, this आपने वहां पे एक गलती कर दी है, but you cannot enjoy there. You take this and you try to become Lord over here, and then we fall down over here and we try to become enjoyer and controller into various ways, and then there is karma, and then there are various activities, and then we get entangled over. And the first thing which जो हमको cover कर लेती है, that is our false ego. जो कवरिंग सबसे पहले हमारे अंदर आती है, जो when we fall over here is false ego, which is material covering only. And the first thing that it covers is our relationship with the Lord. We forget it, completely forget it. Because अगर वो याद रखेंगे, then हमको याद आ जाएगा कि भाई हम तो भगवान के, we are the part and parcel, and we are the servant of the Lord, and we are supposed to there to serve there, but I have a desire to enjoy. अगर मेरे को ऐसे याद आ जाएगा, there will be complexity. तो ऐसा वो नहीं होने देते. So then there is false ego, and then there is man buddhi, so these coverings there, and then there is covering of the स्थूल शरीर. पहले सूक्ष्म शरीर covering आती है, फिर स्थूल शरीर की covering आती है, and then we get a body according to our desire. and then we get entangled, and we can say that it is a time immemorial activity, and we are like Badh Jeev forever, and nobody can trace then what was the time, because there is no time. In spiritual world there is no time. In material world there is time, but because it is in continuation in cycle of creation and annihilation, it is eternal in that manner. एंड बट इन अ शॉर्ट इसका आंसर ये है कि इच्छा द्वेष समुत्थेन द्वंद्व मोहेन भारता. इसका मैं आपको ट्रांसलेशन पढ़ के सुनाता हूँ. ओ साइन ऑफ भारता, ओ कॉन्करर ऑफ फोe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arisen from desire and hate. तो ये एक ये this is the reason that we fall down over here, and there is a technical way that how we fall down. I don't want to get into that. And इसको हम एक और एग्जांपल से समझ सकते हैं कि more important than knowing that of course it is important to know that what was the reason कि हमने ऐसी क्या गलती करी, obviously इसलिए कि हम दोबारा ना करें. दूसरा, it is also not important to know that what was the mistake. जैसे कि अगर मान लो आप एक शिप में जा रहे हो, और अगर आप कूद जाओ और गिर जाओ और पानी में आपको तैरना नहीं आता, और तो यहाँ पे आपको एक लाइफ बोट दे दी गई है, और लाइफ बोट में जैसे वो जो गोल से लाइफ बोट होती है उसमें किसी ने फेंकी, तो वहां पे जो कैप्टन वगैरह थे उन्होंने फेंकी और आपने उसे पकड़ ली. और बट अभी टाइम नहीं है ये जानने का कि वो मैंने क्या किया जिसकी वजह से मैं गिरा. अभी टाइम है कि उस लाइफ बोट को पकड़ो और उसको पकड़ के अपने आप को पहले बचाओ, और बचा के पहले शिप पे ऊपर आ जाओ, फिर सोचना कि क्या करना है. तो this is like compared to the material world, that we may think that, oh, what did I do, and we may go into speculation, but there is no answer that we can find over here. So now is the time to save ourselves and take that lifeboat and get ourselves back. And rather than thinking कि I am right, अभी मैं डूब रहा हूँ और मैंने ऐसा क्या किया कि मैं डूब रहा हूँ. अभी टाइम नहीं है सोचने का कि मैंने ऐसा क्या किया, अभी टाइम है कि अपने आप को बचाने का. So this is like one of the examples, so like that we can take it as an analogy. So I hope it was understandable, Prabhuji. बहुत छोटा सा आंसर दिया मैंने, because we could go on and on, but we have some shortage of time also. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, it was okay. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, ठीक है. So any more questions or any more comments? Okay, so we will end our session here, and we will meet next week, same time, 5 p.m. not 4. आज 4 बजे था, because there is some other engagement for me in 1 hour, and so I have to go somewhere. And so thank you so much everyone for joining, and you can read Bhagavad Gita introduction on your own also at home, and if there are any questions or any comments, you can message me personally, or you can send it on the group as well, and I will be able to help you out. So we will close the session here. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय. गॉड प्रेमानंदे. हरे कृष्ण. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.